Okay, so Baby on My Doorstep is the name of the story. So once a year, Washington had a real bad snowstorm. We had like 8 or 9 inches of snow. Anyway, before I go outside, I always say a prayer. And I say a prayer for my family, and I say a prayer when I get in the car, and I say a prayer when I get out of the car, and I say a prayer when I wake up in the morning, as soon as I open my eyes, and before I go to sleep at night. So one night after I had picked up my grandmother, and I was taking care of my grandmother for my auntie, because that's what I used to always do. I would take her to Sunday school. She was in a wheelchair, and I knew that's what she loved. And I knew it was important to give those elders that you love the things that they like before they pass away. And that's how you get long life. It's the things that you do when you take your energy and you use it for good things, not use it for bad things like fighting all the time. So I was taking care of my grandmother when I was young. So at this time I had her instead of my auntie. So anyway, so I had to take care of her during the snow, me and my cousin and stuff like that. So she was with me. So one night when we get home, because I had just moved in this new house, right? We get home and I lay down from coming from church after taking grandma from church, after taking care of her because she had a colostomy bag, making sure that her food was prepared the way she wanted it, making sure she had her Bible and her hair was done, and all the things that you would do to take care of your elderly grandmother while she's living that pleases God. So we started to go to sleep, right? As I laid in the bed, I kept hearing something, and it sounded like a cat. And it was like, meow. It sounded like that, but it wasn't. So I lay back down. I said, maybe I'm just dreaming, or maybe I'm, in REM sleep or whatever. So as time went on through the night, I kept hearing something cry. And I said, that's maybe a cat at my door, because you know how stray cats come on and sit on your door, animals, when it's cold, because they're trying to find a place for warmth. So as time went on through the night, it was probably like 3 in the morning. I kept hearing something, and it sounded like a little cat. I went to my door, you guys, and it was a baby on my doorstep. A newborn baby in his car seat on my doorstep. So I was like, I didn't know what to do. It was like 3 in the morning. So I looked around, and it was like 8 inches of snow, and there was nobody. It was just a newborn baby left on my doorstep. The baby didn't have no bottles or nothing, but it was wrapped up really good from the warmth. It was just left on my doorstep. So I took the baby inside. So the baby didn't have no milk. So I had to go in the middle of the night and get the baby some milk and some Pampers. And it was a little boy, and his name was Malachi, which was so interesting because of how much I love God. So how do I know his name? I'll tell you in a minute. So I'm taking care of him. One day goes by, I'm still taking care of him. Another day goes by, I'm still taking care. I look around, you guys, walk around the neighborhood, knock on the door, asking, do you know somebody that just had a baby? They left a baby on my doorstep. No success. I still got this little newborn baby. He wasn't no older than 2 or 3 weeks old. So I keep on taking care of him to the best of my ability that God has given me. So as I look through his blankets, I find out what his name was. Still no contact for the mother. So I started talking to him about God. I started talking to him about how I grew up in the South and stuff like that. And how much God loved people regardless of what other people do. So as time went on, I had this baby now for 3 weeks. I go to the Children and Family Services to see if I can find the baby's mother. But guess what? We couldn't find the baby's mother with no name, and they wouldn't take him. I still had the baby. Oh boy. It gets really even stickier. So I got this little boy, and I'm still telling him about how God loved people, how you should forgive people, because sometimes people do wrong things. Then one night, it was 4 o'clock in the morning, the mother comes to my door, and she was a white girl with brown and blondish hair, and she says, I left Malachi on your doorstep. And I said, oh, okay. I said, but why did you leave Malachi on my doorstep? She said, I've been watching you. And she said, I'm a heroin addict. I do drugs really, really bad. And I don't know how to take care of him because I'm on drugs real bad. So I said, okay. I said, it's all right. I said, but you can get off of drugs. I said, because God knows why you're doing what you're doing, but I'm not going to judge you. And I said to her, I said, does this child of yours, does he have a father? Because I've had him for 4 weeks now. She said, yeah, he has a father, but I'm scared to talk to him. So I said, well, what's his name? So she gave me his name. So I said, do you want me to continue to keep your baby? Because I went to child family services and stuff like that. She said, yeah, you can continue to keep him. I said, okay. I said, but where are you going to be at? She said, well, I don't know, because I do a lot of drugs. I said, well, okay, well, I'm going to pray for you, but I'm going to be here with Malachi until you come back. So she came back and she gave me the father's address. So later on, I went and knocked on the door. I said, I have a baby boy, and this woman says that this is your child, and I've had him for 4 weeks. Do you want him? So the guy says, well, I don't know how to take care of him. But he had another child by the same woman, but older. So I said, how about we go to Children and Family Service and you get some help? Since you already have one boy and it seems like you're doing a very good job. You own your own house and you have a wood shop. So we go down there and he gets help to take care of this 4-week-old little boy. He said, thank you very much. I said, you're welcome. I said, I love children. I said, I don't understand why people bring children in this world and then you leave them somewhere. You don't want them because they didn't ask you to be here. They didn't. You could have had contraceptives. You could have did. There are many contraceptives to prevent you from bringing a child in this world that you don't want, for you to just dump them and leave them somewhere. Now, if I was filthy rich, I would have an organization. You could leave your child there. I would take care of them, and I wouldn't have them stuck in the house or stuck in a facility where they couldn't see the outdoors. I would have an outdoors where there would be nature. I would have things where people would come and visit them because they are still human. I love children so much, you guys. After he got older, I went back to go see him. And I said, how you doing? He said, I'm doing okay. And I said, you doing good in school? He said, yeah. He said, I'll never forget the day my mother told me that she left you on my doorstep. And I said, well, you just thank God I wasn't evil, because there's a lot of evil people out there when it comes to children. But I love children so much. I just took you in my arms like you was my own. And that's my story. But, you know, I don't mind having a good heart for children anymore. I love having a good heart for children. But these folks out here, they also manipulative, deceivery, and all kind of trickery. So, you know, you just have to look out. So, and that's what I do. I protect myself and I protect my heart.